Hi, it's Jane Jackson, and welcome to Your Career Podcast. Here's where you'll get the career tips and inspiration you need to take control of your career. Welcome to episode 272 of Your Career Podcast. The most basic and powerful way to connect to another person is to listen. Just listen. Perhaps the most important thing we ever give each other is our attention. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Your Career Podcast. Today, I want to share something that stopped me in my tracks, literally, and got me thinking deeply about what leadership truly means. So I hope you'll enjoy some of my rambling thoughts, but I think you'll find it really moving as well. You know, those moments when something unexpected catches your attention and suddenly shifts your perspective? Well, I had one of those moments recently while taking a walk along Manly Beach. Before I share this story, I want to ask you a question. When was the last time you were truly moved by an unexpected display of empathy or leadership in everyday life? Not in a boardroom, not in a corner office with an impressive title on the door, but out in the world where real life happens. Today, we're going to explore how true leadership often reveals itself in the most unexpected places and what that means for all of us navigating our own leadership journeys, whether that's leading a team, a household, or simply leading ourselves through all of life's challenges. So there I was, enjoying the sunshine and sea breeze along Manly Beach. People were walking, jogging, lost in their own worlds as often we are. That's when I noticed him, a man carefully pushing a wheelchair along the beach. But what really caught my attention was his t-shirt, which read, "My beautiful wife has dementia. Please say hello to her." And it really captured my attention. I felt my heart swell, and I slowed down and I was walking because in that simple message, there was so much love, so much humanity, and I thought so much leadership and self-leadership too. This was not a man seeking pity. This was a man creating bridges of connection for the person that he loves most in the world, his wife. He was acknowledging a difficult reality while simultaneously inviting others into a space of compassion and human connection. Connection. Now, I don't know about you, but I've sat through countless leadership seminars where we talk about EQ, emotional intelligence, empathetic leadership with all those PowerPoint slides and expensive coffee in the break times. Yet here was more authentic leadership demonstrated in a simple t-shirt slogan than I've seen in many corporate retreats. Now, as Brené Brown so beautifully puts it, empathy has no script. There is no right way or wrong way to do it. It's simply listening, holding space, withholding judgment, emotionally connecting and communicating that incredibly healing message of "you're not alone." That man on the beach embodied this quote perfectly with no script, no training, just love. So much love. He showed us what true leadership looks like. Now, I was thinking that there are a number of leadership lessons that really were highlighted to me from this, and I'd love to share them with you. So, what can we learn from this powerful moment? I believe there are three core leadership lessons worth exploring. Firstly, choose to see, not just look. How often do we pass by others glancing but not truly seeing? This man's t-shirt wasn't just a piece of clothing. It was an invitation to connection, a bridge across what might otherwise be an uncomfortable silence. The poet David Whyte once wrote, "The courageous conversation is the one where we speak not to the parts of another with which we feel comfortable, but precisely to the part where we feel uncomfortably." This husband was courageously inviting exactly this kind of authentic interaction. True leadership begins with this kind of vulnerability and empathy, I believe. It's about creating space for the full humanity of those around us with all their joys and struggles. And we all have joys, and all of us have struggles, and don't we know it? Secondly, the courage of everyday heroes. Leadership isn't always about boardroom decisions or organizational strategy. Sometimes it's demonstrated most powerfully in how we really care for one another. This man showed more leadership in his simple t-shirt than many demonstrate with impressive titles or those fancy corner offices, yes? As Rachel Naomi Remen, author of Kitchen Table Wisdom, writes, "The most basic and powerful way to connect to another person is to listen. Just listen. Perhaps the most important thing we ever give each other is our attention." You notice a common theme here? It's coming through, isn't it? And I'm sure that you know exactly what that theme is. This husband was giving his wife the gift of connection by ensuring others would see her, acknowledge her, and speak to her, not pass her or around her simply because of her condition. And thirdly, connection is what gives life meaning. I like to think of connection as the soil in which all human flourishing grows. Yes, connection. Without it, we wither, regardless of our accomplishments or possessions. And this is true in our personal lives and equally true in our workplaces. We need human connection. And Simon Sinek puts it this way: leadership is not about being in charge. Leadership is about taking care of those in your charge. That man on the beach was demonstrating this principle in its purest form. It was so beautiful. There was so much love. Now, let's think about how you might apply this in the workplace, because you're thinking, oh, beautiful story, Jane, but what does this have to do with my career or my workplace? Well, everything, actually. In our lives and personal lives, we encounter people every day whose struggles remain invisible to us. The colleague who seems distracted might be caring for an aging parent. The team member who rarely joins social events might be managing a chronic illness or anxiety. We don't know, do we? We don't know. So don't assume. We're all walking around with invisible t-shirts, aren't we? All walking around with our invisible t-shirts on, with our invisible slogans. The slogans that might read, "I'm going through a divorce." Oh, I know all about that. Or my child is struggling. All our children struggle at some stage, and sometimes it's much worse than others. Or simply, your slogan might be, "I'm not feeling like myself today." The difference is that most of us don't actually wear these messages where others can see them. And that's what makes compassionate leadership so important. It's about seeing what isn't explicitly stated. I feel so passionately about this. It's hard to get the words out sometimes. So, yeah, let me tell you, the research from the Center of Creative Leadership found that empathy is positively related to job performance. Empathy positively related to job performance. Managers who show more empathy towards direct reports are viewed as better performers. But beyond their performance metrics, there's something more fundamental happening. And you know, the late, great Maya Angelou, she wisely said, and I've used this quote many times, I love it so much, people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. The compassionate leader understands that creating psychological safety, a space where people feel seen, heard, and valued. Oh, it's so important. It isn't just nice to have. Honestly, it's essential for both well-being and performance. So I have a challenge. My challenge to you is the next time you interact with someone, whether it be a colleague, client, team member, or even a stranger passing by, challenge yourself to not just look and be all distracted as usual, but truly see them. Ask yourself, what bridges can I build? What invitations to connection can I offer? How might I acknowledge someone's full humanity and change the dynamics of my workplace or my community? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke of this when he said, this is a good one, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Think of compassionate leadership as being like a lighthouse rather than a spotlight, because a spotlight illuminates only what you choose to focus on, isn't it? That's why it's called a spotlight. But a lighthouse casts its light in all directions, helping everyone near it to find their way safely to shore. Be that lighthouse in your sphere of influence, whatever that might be. So as I wrap up today, I want to return to that wonderful man on the beach with his powerful t-shirt message. I never caught his name, and I don't know his story beyond those few printed words. We shared a smile and a nod, and a smile with his wife as well, and it was really beautiful. But he taught me, and now hopefully you, something profound of what leadership is at its true core. Leadership isn't a title, it's not authority or power. At its heart, I believe leadership is love in action. So, as you go forward from this episode today, I invite you to keep this question with you. How can I lead with more love? The answer to that question might transform not only your career, but the lives of everyone you touch along the way. How beautiful would that be? So thanks for listening. And until next time, I'm Jane Jackson. And I'd like to remind you that sometimes the most memorable leadership lessons don't come from business books or executive retreats, but from a simple walk on the beach and a husband's love expressed through a t-shirt. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Reach out to me at janejacksoncoach.com, where you'll find more resources on career management and career development too. So hope to see you there. And until next time, take care, everyone. Bye now. If you enjoyed today's episode of Your Career Podcast, please subscribe because it helps me to reach more people looking for career inspiration and support. And I have something for you. Download my career resources at janejacksoncoach.com. While you're there, take my 2-minute career success quiz. You'll get your results and analysis immediately and recommendations tailored to your specific career needs. See you soon.